Good morning and welcome to this very short but hopefully helpful little video. This is basically aimed at beginners, people that are either just starting out into the hobby or have never actually had a brushless RC before and they started using LiPo batteries. LiPo batteries are fantastic. They are safe if you use them correctly, and this is the biggest problem. People abuse LiPo batteries and then they wonder why they catch fire or they explode. This video is literally just to try and give you a little insight, say if you're new or fresh into the hobby, that don't be scared of LiPos. Treat them with respect and they will give you many hours of fantastic racing. Abuse them and they will bite back, seriously. So, you got your new car, you got a LiPo battery. What do you do now? Well, obviously it needs charging. Where do you start with chargers? Well, you've got a choice. Most new cars, when you buy them, if they're LiPo, they will come with some sort of basic charger. Sometimes they're only the little USB type. And when you first get your new car, you want to go out, you want to go racing. Your USB charger, you could be waiting 5, 6, 7 hours for a battery to charge up. So invest in a charger. Not expensive these days, depending obviously what you get. I used to use these, which is the eTronix PowerPal 3. Brilliant little charger. You can get them. I will put a link to these chargers sort of either down here or up there or somewhere on the screen. Anyway, we'll put the link to these. I actually got 2 of these because I was charging 2 batteries at a time. And when I first started, I didn't have the money to get a decent charger. But they work really well and they charge quite quick. I believe these are about £40 now, but don't quote me, somewhere around that. But that's a good little starting charger. I actually now use the SkyRC T200. Fantastic bit of kit. It does the job absolutely fantastic. Charges 2 batteries at once. Doesn't matter what configuration they are. I can have a 2S on one and a 4S on the other. They're brilliant. Set them all up independently. These, I believe, are somewhere between £70 and £80, depending where you go. You can get some really good deals, but if you've got, a few batteries and you're going to charge them up, get one of these. The T200 or the T100, sorry. The only difference is obviously the output of these. The T200 charges a lot faster. I can literally charge a 4S battery in about half an hour. Fantastic bit of kit. The next most important thing you need, and I'm not telling people how to suck eggs, because the people might watch this go, well, that's so easy. We all know that. Some people don't. I've had a lot of people talk to me about LiPos and they are scared of them because they don't know what to get. So, your most important thing, what do you need after your charger or with your charger? A LiPo sack. They come in all sorts of configurations. You can get large double ones, you can get little square ones for a 6S battery. You can grab that here, you can grab battery bags, okay? They all do the same job. These are all actually got full of batteries at the moment. They're not expensive, but if you got your battery on charge and it's in one of these and something goes wrong, okay, it's not going to stop the fire, but it is going to contain it long enough for you to be able to get your battery unplugged, get it somewhere safe. I don't like charging indoors. Sometimes we don't have a choice. If you do charge your batteries indoors, try and do it near a door where if something goes wrong, you can throw it out quick. Always have your battery in a LiPo sack. And the thing is, most importantly, I know it's in the sack, okay, but you have that on your kitchen side and that explodes or catches fire. Yeah, okay, the heat is still going to come out of that. It's going to probably burn through to your wood surface. Don't. Put it on an old metal baking tray, something that's going to stop it actually burning onto anything else. If you've got it on the metal tray, you can just literally rip the wires out, take the whole tray, throw it out in the garden. Okay. Please, that is the one most important thing you can do is keep your batteries in a LiPo sack. Not only when you're charging them, but when you're not using them. I keep all my batteries in LiPo bags, LiPo sacks of some sort, and they're also in a steel cabinet. So if something does go wrong, I'm hoping that steel cabinet, okay, it's going to completely burn all my batteries out, but I'd rather that than have a building burnt down. So that's something worth considering. Plenty of LiPo sacks and a steel cabinet. Very, very important. We will go on to talking about the charging side of it. So you've got your charger, you've got your LiPo sack, you're all ready to go, but you've got your battery and you think, what do I charge it at? What does all these numbers mean? Okay. At the moment, power supply here, sorry, I was plugged it in. When you first turn your charger on, the most important thing to look at is this number here. You can see that there, I'm going to see that a bit closer. 5,200 milliamps. When you connect your battery up to your charger, you need to make sure you're charging at the right amperage. Now, whatever the number is on your battery, this one's a 5,002. I believe I've got some 4,000s there, but we'll stick with this one for now. So you want to set your charging rate at 5.2 amps. Don't go higher than the numbers on that, just take the first two numbers. So if it's the 4,000, you charge it at 4 amps. If it's a 6,500, you charge it 6.5 amps. It's self-explanatory, very, very easy. And you will find that most chargers you get, they come with a really good detailed instruction booklet, and they will keep you safe. Okay. Obviously, you then need to make sure that you're charging the right battery. So we've got 4S here. So you'll scroll through your menu, depending on what charger you've got, and you'll make sure it's set at 4S, 14.8 volts. Obviously, if you're charging a 2S, you could be charging at, say, 2.2 milliamps. And it will say 2S, 7.4 volts. That's the important side of it. So obviously, the easy part is we know this is going to be your power lead. This is going to be plugging into your car and giving you hours of fun. But what's this little thing for? What's this little lead do? Well, when it's in the car, it actually does nothing at all. But when you're in the charger, if I can take this one out of here for a minute, when you're charging up, obviously the lead here, we've plugged in the charger. This plugs into the corresponding connection. So for this one here, obviously we've got in there, sorry, in there. So this one here, we've got a 4S, okay? So we plug it into the 4S port. Okay? That is your balance lead. Make sure that's always plugged in when you're charging your batteries. What that basically does is it makes sure that all the cells in your battery are balanced. If you've got one reading, one totally out, much higher or much lower, the chances are your battery won't charge. Your charger will probably give you a warning beep, which is telling you that battery is faulty. I actually have one, I believe it's in the cupboard at the moment, which I've got to destroy because it's faulty. It won't charge and it just tells me there's an imbalance in the cells. once it tells you that, there's not really that much to do with them. Don't try, and some people say, oh, you can put them on the 9 amp charger and you can boost them and it sets them properly. Please don't do it. It's not worth the risk. It might work. I've never tried it. I don't want to try it. I'm not that stupid. You know, I want to keep my hands in one piece. So you've done it. You've got your battery, you've got your charger, you've got your LiPo bag, you've charged your battery. You go out for half an hour, you have a bit of a run around, it starts pouring with rain, you come home. Your battery is probably still half, maybe 3/4 charged. When are you going out again? If you're going out in a couple of days' time, fine. Leave your battery, put it back in your LiPo bag and store it safely. If you're not going to go back out with your car for a week, 10 days, you need to put it in storage charge. If you leave them either fully charged or part charged, they're at their most dangerous. If you're not going to use them, connect them back up to your charger. It'll have a setting that says storage charge. That takes your battery down to 3.8 volts. At that voltage, your battery is it's safe. Let's put it that way. Anything can happen to a LiPo battery. You know, there's no rule that says they're not going to explode or catch fire. But at 3.8 volts, that is their safe storage point, and that's where you want to keep them. I try and put mine in storage charge every time, whether they are, you know, been used for an hour, half an hour. I'll always just stick them on the charger and just try and check that they are at storage. If you're not sure, the other item, which is a really good investment, is a digital battery capacity checker. These, you can get these from anywhere, all sorts of shops, all from the hobby shops, model shops, even places like Temu, AliExpress, Amazon. They're brilliant. And all you do is you plug your balance lead into it, switch it on, it'll tell you what type of battery, click on the cell and it'll tell you what voltage there is in the cell. Brilliant piece of kit, and I think you can pick these up literally for like less than a tenner, and they're very, very good. Grab yourself one. So you've got your batteries, you've charged them up, you've been out for a race, you've had a great time, you've come back, you put your battery in storage charge, you put it in a LiPo bag, you put it in a steel cabinet if you've got one. You're done. You know, there is nothing to be worried about. Like I say, treat them with respect and they will treat you with hours and hours of fun. They do have a lot of power, these LiPo batteries. And saying when it does go wrong, it goes wrong big time. But don't let that put you off. Please, you know, it's a great hobby, but just take care. Read your instructions, read any safety manuals. If you're not sure, go on the web. There's plenty of information on the web there that will help you, you know, with your batteries to keep you and, you know, your property and your car, keep it safe, you know. I can't emphasize enough, you know, your LiPo bags are your lifesavers. They are going to keep you safe if something goes wrong. Guys, you know, I hope it's helped in a little way. It's all I'm trying to say is don't be afraid of LiPos. You know, I've actually had 2 customers lately who are still running 9 amp batteries in their cars because they are scared of LiPos. I've had a chat with one of the guys and he's now using LiPos and he's absolutely over the moon. You know, he says the extra power you're getting from them, from a brushless motor, it's so much more fun. But there is that grey area where people go, well, I've heard a lot of stories that they explode, they catch fire. I will put a couple of little shots and videos and that of LiPo fires, just so you can see how, you know, how quickly it can go wrong. But it's not that often, okay? One thing I do need to say is that if you find you do have a LiPo battery that goes dead and it won't charge, it has to be destroyed properly. Okay, you can't just put it in your waste bin and let the dustman take it away. Please don't do that, because you can get in all sorts of trouble for that, especially when the dust cart catches fire. I've seen people put a metal stake or a nail through a battery to discharge it. All that's going to do is cause it to catch fire. It's going to explode. Okay, if you want to do that for fun, great, do it for fun. I'm lucky. I've never actually had that many problems with LiPos, but I've been told the best way to do it is literally, if you've got a dead battery, get yourself a bucket of water, a load of salt, and put the battery in salt water solution and leave it. Basically, all that's going to do is going to corrode everything out. They say leave it for a week. I don't know if that's true or not, but from what I've heard, they say leave it for a week in a salt solution, and the battery's dead after that anyway. So, but if you want to see how well a battery explodes, stick it outside, get yourself a big metal stake and stick it through the middle, and you will see how frightening it is. Now, I am not telling you to do that. If you want to do that for a laugh, you do that at your own risk. And sorry guys, that is a stupid risk to take. Be careful, stay safe, and enjoy your RC hobby.
Yeah.